The prayer that I had that time was like, God, I want to be like that man over there. So you need to find pleasure in what you're doing and do it fully. Find your passion. Do it with all your heart.
To what extent do you accept criticism from the people?
Find a reason to show the person that you're really the one.
If you're not the one,
just be honest. The podcast is really nice, and I would call upon everyone watching to share and like and subscribe to your channels. You're doing an amazing work. This will bring a more impact about the community and the country you're living in, especially those people in diaspora, so they can actually understand the importance of coming here to share their life of success. Do not go where the path may lead, but instead go where there's no path and leave a trail.
Hi everybody, this is the setback story that is unfolding. Today we are having Willy alongside me. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
I think you might have heard about the Setback podcast, and we've been waiting to see you here with us on set in the Setback, the podcast that talks about the stories about the people, career paths, and some setback overcoming stories. People are watching this, maybe first and most, they need first to know about Willy. Who are you? How can you talk about yourself so that each and everybody who's watching this can know about you?
Thank you so much for the invitation.
You're welcome.
In the Setback, and I really love this, man. You know, when we talked, I felt like I should also come and share a little bit about my journey. My name is Willy Ndayisenga. I'm a co-founder in a non-governmental organization. If you can call it a charity NGO. We started in 2019. Back then, we did not have the agreement from the government, but now we have it. I'm actually operating in that organization as a founder of the it's called Rising Hope Burundi. One of the main target or the purpose we have is to work with children who are vulnerable to help them get access to education, and we also work with their parents so that they can understand the importance of trying to send their kids to school and keep them on track. The second thing I do, I'm a professional interpreter. I've been interpreting in different organizations such as a branch of UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees, but the branch's name is Resettlement Support Center Africa. It's an American NGO, non-governmental organization based in Nairobi, but they usually come in Burundi to process the resettlement of the refugees that are being taken from Burundi to a country that has accepted the resettlement for the refugees. And another thing I do, I'm a project assistant manager from, it's an NGO that deals with constructions of dam of electricity, roads, building, housing, and all this other stuff. It's called CMC or RASCOM. It's a synergy of two different organizations that deals with construction that came together and won the market of the World Bank to construct, to build the dome of electricity that most people know it as a barrage Gigi Murembu. It's a dam of electricity that will be providing approximately to 50 megawatt of electricity from the southern region to different parts of our country.
I would like to know, because I think coming to a place where you become an interpreter for some UN organizations or interpreting in the church, you might have maybe some experience before.
I am going to be talking about this in detail. It goes back to 2016, 2012 actually, when I came up, I was in a church, then I saw somebody called Armel Chimanishatse. He's actually part of my inspiration when it comes to interpretation and translation area. I saw him interpreting right in front of the church. That time we had 2 American people who came in the church, and then he was interpreting, and I saw the energy, how his heart was actually connected to serving God. Then I felt like, why can't I also do that? I was on my journey reading books and trying to, acquire more knowledge when it comes to knowing what I want in my earlier age. So when I saw that, I felt like the prayer that I had that time was like, God, I want to be like that man over there. I want to be like Armel Chimanishat. So that's how it started. Then sometimes I could find him at his home, and then he could actually give me some advices of how to do that. You know, like when you want to process your life into becoming somebody or learning a skill, you need to get those people you can stand on their shoulders so they can show you the pros and cons of that area you want to interest yourself in. So that's how it started. So in 2016, I integrated my church as an interpreter. It was not really easy at the beginning. I tried the best I could. I had some challenges because, you know, because in interpretation, we have 3 types of interpretation that are measured. We have consecutive interpretation. We have simultaneous interpretation. We also have whispered interpretation. For those who really wants to dig down deep and get to understand what those are, simultaneous interpretation is the kind of interpretation that you'll be having, like the transmitter of the message will be talking, and then he will give you some time to transmit the message, to interpret the message into a totally different language. And we have also consecutive interpretation. That one we use, you know, like mostly in conferences, you know, like different type of events. You find a small cabin right behind of the audience, whereby an interpreter will be interpreting full message, non-stop. That one is a little bit trickier, but it's also good to get to learn and get to know. And then we also have whispered interpretation, is when we are going into different events and then you'll be whispering into somebody's ear to get to tell them, this is what is happening, this is what is happening. So that's how it started, and then up to the present moment. But I cannot tell you that I did not face some challenges. There were some challenges, total disaster challenges. But I thank God that I was able to overcome some. I got to work with Dieudonné Nahimana. I think you know the pastor from Oasis, and he's the founder of DNF, Dieudonné Nahimana Foundation. He also inspired me a lot in the way he would give back to the community, especially targeting young people, because they are the generation of the tomorrow. So yeah, it was really something very nice. I loved to get to connect with people, networking, because I knew Armel and he connected me to different people. And then I worked also with the United Nations Commission for Refugees in Uganda in interpretation for a couple of 2 months. And then I also worked with, you know, this church in Burundi called United Methodist Church in Burundi.
We know the church.
Yeah, I worked with them, and I also worked with Free Methodist Church in Burundi. When they were gathering for their annual pastoral conferences, I was there to interpret, to facilitate the communication between the local pastors and the pastors from abroad, like US, UK. So those are the things I was actually doing and still doing when it comes to interpretation. When I started interpreting, I felt in love with the dream of giving back to the community. I once was a teacher, volunteered for almost like 9 years, teaching English young people from different corners of Bujumbura. We were working in different English clubs. I could go and implement an English club and leave some people who could volunteer to help other people, young people.
In some Bujumbura neighborhoods?
Yes, in Bujumbura neighborhood.
The NGO that you started, maybe the not-profit organization that you said that you are running now, and it is official, that's what you said. What is it about, what you're doing there in the organization? The
purpose we have with the NGO is to help street kids to be heard. They have a voice. They have a dream to achieve, but they do not have means to get there. You know, you've been talking about success, right? What is success? Success is defined in so many different ways. Somebody wants to have meal on their table, and they call it success. Somebody wants to accomplish a certain type of, you know, work in their life. Somebody wants to finish high school. Somebody wants to have a degree. You know, that's success. But what I can say is about when you help those street kids, we help to diminish or to decrease the spreading of so many children on the street. Because the parents, some parents, we've been doing like a kind of research to get to know what is the problem. The problem starts with the parents. You know, when we get to tell the parents what is the need for the children, it's not good to send the children to the street to ask for money and stuff like that. It's better to try and struggle hard to give them a better life. So we came up with an idea. We went to a place whereby so many of the Bujumbura trash are thrown. So kids from the street, they go there to pick some stuff, and then we said, let us take 60 kids from these who dropped out school and take them back to school. And we still have the record. We've been working with them for 4 years, and we see how they're improving in school, and things are really going well. I've been telling you about doing things that would give you a self-impact. It's not really only important, but what are you also doing for the community? It's good to give back to the community so that the community can also have like the benefit out of what you're doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. And how did you find yourself in a dam, Gigi Murembe Electric Dam, and how did you get there? What was the experience? Maybe whether getting there, being there, might have fostered maybe your personal growth or community engagement. Can you connect that to interpretation or translation? What was the experience there?
As I said, I'll be talking about networking. You know someone who knows someone who knows something. So the way I got into that project, construction project of dam of electricity, hydroelectric power plant, I was an interpreter, a normal interpreter, interpreting for different organizations and different people, translating official documents. So then I got a call from a friend from the same church. He said, Willy, I heard this place, they are looking for an interpreter. And I know that your profile is really matched to what they are looking for. Are you interested? And I said, yeah. And he said, just prepare your CV and go apply for the job. Then I went. We were like 27 people looking for that same occasion. But before, because I used to be working with an Indian company that was dealing with doing some studies of where the wires of electricity would pass through coming from the Rusumo barrage from Tanzania. I worked with them for 4 months. Then when I went there, I presented my CV. Then I got to connect with them and then said, are you available to start working when do you want to start work? And I told them my preferences, and then they said, okay, we're good. So that's how I started. I started as an interpreter. Then when I grew in that organization, in that construction company, I saw some other good match and fitting positions that I could apply to up to where I am today.
Anything new or anything good from that electric dam, the impact in terms of electricity?
All right, the impact, thank you so much. The impact of Gigi Murembe Dam, the hydroelectric power plant, is that it will give access to the homes and the households that do not have electricity to profit and get a benefit out of it. And the other impact is that there will be no difficulties of outage and like lacking of electricity. So many companies will be created. So many malfunctioning organizational or industries will be functioning normally and well because they will be benefiting from this approximately 50 megawatt of electricity. It's a lot, and I think it's a project that is a pilot in Burundi now, currently. I hope that so many people will benefit from this. Because it's an impact that does not regard people from the southern region. It's an impact to the whole country.
Young people like you or other people. I want to know, do you have some challenges in what you're doing? Maybe your parents or the community may not understand, may not say, okay, Willy, it's not a job or it's not this. Maybe they are pushing you to do something that you do not love. Do you have some challenges in your life, what you're doing?
So I can say that challenges will never miss because there will always be people. There will always be things that drag you down, like preventing you from doing what you're actually doing. You know, when you do not know what you really want, you will always have challenge. So you need to find pleasure in what you're doing and do it fully. And sometimes it requires also not to listen to what people are actually saying. Because when you keep lending your ear to other people, they will plant their flowers and their roots that are negative, and they will narrate a history, and a history that is totally different to what you want. So I always tell my friends and people around me, whenever you find out what you're really passionate about, whenever you find out what your passion is, wake up in the morning, spend the rest of your natural life waking up in the morning and going after what you really want. Don't listen to negativities and things people tell you, because these will drag you down and push you not to get to where you want to be. Like today, I can tell you, I never knew what really is to give back to the community and of course the family. You know, when you start doing something for your little ones, and there will be that type of respect. They'll be like, oh, our brother, even though as you said, sometimes people ask, why do so many young people do different types of things? Find your passion. Do it with all your heart.
At some point in time, maybe you may be doing something and the people can come and tell you, you know, you are not doing this in the right way. Don't you think that we young people can fall in the trap of not accepting criticism? To what extent do you accept criticism from the people?
I really do accept criticism. People can come and tell me what they want, but they do not define my goal and target. As I said, let me go back a little bit. When I started as an interpreter, I wanted to integrate in my church as an interpreter, but we had somebody in the church. Every time I approached him and tell him I want to integrate myself into this department of interpretation and translation, he would just look at me and saw how young I was, and he would say, you are not fit for this yet. Just go and pray. Can you imagine? So you will always have people. When I wanted to go to interpret for this NGO that I told you about, there's a person who wanted me not there. So you need to know, like, when somebody is trying to drag you down or maybe show you that you are not fit for that, find a reason to show the person that you're really the one.
If you're not the one,
I would tell you one story. One day, I'm called by somebody. Hey, Willy, I want you to come and do this. Then I went there. I looked the weight of the job, of the task I was given. You know, I whispered into that person. I said, bro, this is beyond my task. This is beyond my ability.
I'm loving this.
That's why I told you, you will always kind of have that feeling. Imbalance will be felt right inside of your heart.
You measure, you see.
You will try to kind of measure and then said, if you are not able to do that, tell people that it's all about being honest, brother.
Sure.
You don't have to go do something that you are not capable of doing.
I'm loving
Just try to be honest with yourself. Try to have that integrity. If you're doing something and you find right inside of you, you've never done that, just be honest. If they decide to keep you to do the work, just go for it. And then you'll be learning little by little, right? So that's what I was actually saying. It's very good to accept criticism, and it's very good to accept that you are not fit. You're not fit for the task you are given.
But also fighting for what you're fit for.
Yes, fighting for what you're fit for, my brother.
Show the people that you can do that.
I want to tell you something. Whenever I discover that I'm able to do something, I add it to my profile. Add it to my profile because it will help me to understand that the sky is not the limit. The sky is never the limit. The moment you discover that you are able to do something, just go and do it. The more you practice, you do not become perfect. But the more you practice, the more skills get to be added on to your profile, and then you get to to penetrate in the movement of what life can actually provide.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to know, can you just tell us maybe throughout your journey whether you had a person who was mentoring you, or a mentor or a model who have been there maybe to guide you in what you've been doing? Did you have that person? And maybe do you think it is very important to have a mentor in what you're doing as a person young and growing like you?
Yes, it's very much important to have people around you who can push you, who can mentor you, and show you the pros and cons of what you're following. Like I can tell you, I have so many people that have been advising to tell me how to guide myself into professional careers that I mentioned earlier. Like I have Jean-Claude Nakirutimana. He's currently in Canada. He's been one of the mentors who has been showing me how to be fearless, how to penetrate into whatever you see that is really beneficial for yourself and for the community. And I also have some other people that have been advising and mentoring me, showing me how life is. As I said, my father also has been showing me how to guide myself into the world and how to penetrate in my careers. Yes.
Okay, that's good. I saw some of the pictures. I think it was not here in Burundi. I've been wanting to know whether you travel. Sometimes you travel. Can you tell me about Willy outside of Burundi, or any importance of traveling?
The importance of traveling, it helps you to get to connect with other people, networking, get to know the cultures of other people, the languages, how people act, how people behave, you know what I'm saying? You will see the outside. It's like going out of the box, and get to see what is happening around through the cultures of other people, the way of being, how other people react to different things, how other people cook, how other people live. You know, when you travel, you open your mindset, you get to know how things are happening outside of your country, because we have 1,000 different cultures with other countries.
Good.
So it's very much important. I would urge and I would advise other young people who are following the broadcast to really, really follow the advice we're giving, especially here in the set back.
Yeah.
Because they will get to learn more.
So they can start traveling, maybe.
Most definitely.
Learn more from outside the country.
Most definitely.
But I think there are people who say, okay, when I come from maybe the countryside of Burundi and I come to Bujumbura and I call it traveling, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, traveling outside of Burundi,
it's very important.
It's good. It was very good to be with you. And thank you so much. Maybe tomorrow after tomorrow, we can invite you to tell more about development in a career life, career path, in your non-profit organization. Or anything related to Gigi Murembe Electric Dam, maybe tomorrow after tomorrow. Thank you so much. It was a very great pleasure to be with you, Willy.
Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. It's an honor for me to come and hear, but I would like to say something before I finish.
Any comment on this?
The podcast is really nice, and I would call upon everyone watching to share and like and subscribe to your channels. You're doing an amazing work. This will bring a more impact about the community and the country we're living in, especially those people in diaspora, so they can actually understand the importance of coming here to share their life of success. You know, as I always say, I have a quote that has stuck into my heart. It says, "Do not go where the path may lead, but instead go where there's no path and leave a trail."